Having already been through the newborn phase many years ago, I now can look back and just wish that I didn't worry about so many things. I spent a lot of time and effort worrying about all of these little details about the new baby that I really just didn't need to. So in this video, I'm going over 10 things that new dads don't need to worry about. You can just put them aside, worry about the other stuff, the stuff that really matters. Let's get started. Hey guys, I'm Jason Kreidman and welcome to another episode of Dad University. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and click on that notification bell so you know when our videos are uploaded. Also, it really helps us spread our message when you share these videos. So maybe you know 3 people that might enjoy this. So share it with them. New dads worry. I know I did. And I get questions from all around the world from new dads that are asking questions that I can tell they're worried too. So here's the thing. It's a brand new experience being a new dad. So I get it. I understand why you're worried. But I'm here to tell you as an experienced dad that you don't need to worry about these kinds of things. Now, there are certain things you need to worry about, but we're going to leave those aside. These are the things you don't need to worry about. Number 1, messing up. Here's the thing. You are going to mess up. Probably a lot. I know that I messed up. Changing the child, getting them dressed, feeding, doesn't matter what it was, I messed up multiple times. This is a brand new experience. You've never done this before. So you can't expect that you're not going to mess up. You will mess up. And so you have to give yourself that permission that it's going to be okay, that messing up is all part of the process. Just don't beat yourself up. Number 2, saying no. Now, this doesn't mean saying no to your child. This means saying no to the people around you. So what happens is you have a child, but the world still goes on. Events, obligations, parties, all these things are still happening. Yet you have a child that you want to spend time with or that makes things a little more time consuming for you. So don't be afraid to say no. So when someone asks that, hey, we are going to have this get together, you know what? I've got some other plans. Or I'm going to spend some time with my child. Don't be afraid to say no. And you're going to need to do that to take care of yourself. Number 3, getting everything. You don't need 3 different strollers depending on the weather and the terrain of the road, or monitors or toys or seats and swingers and things. Someone had asked me in a live stream, what's the products that I should make sure that I get? The only things I can really say are food, diapers, and clothes. Other than that, a lot of the other things are convenience. And what happens is that you end up thinking that you're going to need something, either because somebody suggests it to you, or it's on your registry and you just think that that's something you're supposed to get. But the reality is that when you actually get in it, there are certain things that you use and you don't use. So my suggestion is to be minimal about it. And then once you have the child, you can always purchase new things or ask for gifts when it's the child's birthday or something to that effect. Don't be in such a hurry to get every single thing there is for the child. Number 4, what other people think. Everyone's going to have an opinion. Your parents, the rest of your family, your friends, even coworkers might chime in. And it's great, everyone's got an opinion, but it doesn't mean that you have to listen to it. And you don't need to worry about what other people are thinking or saying. You do you, and you do what works best for you and your family. Now, a perfect thing to say when somebody gives you a suggestion is to say, you know what? I'll take that into consideration. That phrase alone doesn't oblige you to do anything. It just is very courteous to say, yeah, I'll take what you said into consideration. And then it's up to you to evaluate if it's something that you want to take in and do. Number 5, not getting enough sleep. Listen, you are going to probably be sleep deprived in the beginning, and that's a common thing. But this doesn't last forever. I just did a video about how to get your baby to sleep. And really, the first couple of months can be a little rough, but then as it moves on, it gets easier and easier, and eventually your baby sleeps through the night. So you'll reclaim that sleep. You don't have to worry about it. Like I said, it's not something that lasts forever. And so just know that there is going to be some sleep changes for you, but it will not last forever. Number 6, no more me time. This seems to be a common worry with new dads. They feel like they're gonna lose their existing life that they have. I can't go out with my buddies, or I can't go and play sports like I used to, or I have a hobby. But the truth is that you can still do all those things. You may have to reprioritize your time a little bit, maybe evaluate how much time you're watching TV or screen time or whatever. But you can still do those things and be a dad. And also, you have to coordinate that with your significant other, your wife, or whoever. I was lucky. My wife and I had a really good balance of giving each other that time to have on our own. So you just have to communicate it, and you will not lose that me time. Your priorities might change. And so guess what? I actually didn't want as much me time. I wanted to spend more time with my child. But everybody's different. So you figure out what works for you and your family. Number 7, not having experience. Of course, new dads worry about the fact that they've never had a child before. It's a brand new thing. I wasn't even around a child before I had my own children. So it is something that can be a little scary, and when you don't have that experience, it's unknown. But do you know how many millions or hundreds of millions of men have become fathers before you? And it worked out fine. So not having the experience is going to be okay. You're watching things like Dad University, you're trying to learn more, so you are going to be okay. Don't worry about it. Number 8, achieving milestones. Now, this starts right when you have your child, because the hospital will tell you, hey, your baby was 7 pounds or 21 inches. And so all of a sudden you get these metrics. And then as you go to the pediatrician, they'll say, well, the baby's head is in the 95th percentile and the baby's size is the 80th percentile. And you start measuring up your child with what's normal. And so these milestones, which can be rolling over and crawling and then eventually walking, you start to worry about these things. And is my child on the right track? They haven't rolled over yet and they're XYZ, years of age. You don't need to worry about that. All children develop at their own pace. Now, of course, if there is very large delays in development, you're gonna wanna see your pediatrician and talk to them. But for the most part, during the first year, there's really not much to worry about. All children develop at different stages. Number 9, spoiling the baby. There's this thought that you can give the baby too much affection and too much attention. But the truth is that when you give a baby attention, they feel secure and safe and loved. And who doesn't want to feel that way? Especially during the first year. You want to give that baby all the attention that you can. Love them, hug them, kiss them, play with them, do everything that you can. Heck, there's people that wear the baby for most of the year. That's fine too. There are no rules about that, and you're not going to spoil the baby. So don't worry about that. Number 10, bonding with the baby. What happens is that dads often will compare themselves to the mom. Now, the mom had 9 months with the child, and if they're breastfeeding, even more time. If they're staying at home, even more time. So what happens is we start to look at this and get a little jealous at the fact that we are not bonding with the baby right away. Now, I can tell you, for my son, my first child, it took me a couple of months before I really felt close with my child. And that bothered me a little bit because I was expecting to have this amazing bond right when he was born. But it didn't happen. And guess what? I had to put in the time, and as I spent more time with him, I started to feel that bond. So realize that the bond may not happen right away, and so you don't have to worry about bonding with the baby. It's going to happen. Just let it happen naturally. The hope is by going over these tips, you'll have less to worry about. You're already worried. There's new experiences, everything's new, and you're just trying to navigate with this new baby. And I commend you for that and in watching these kinds of videos. But I also want to tell you from my own experience that I just wish I didn't worry so much. So many of these things just work themselves out, or they're just not in your control. And when something's not in your control, worrying about it does not help. So that's my advice to you, is to just not worry about these things. Enjoy the time that you have with your child. It goes by so fast. I have a 9-year-old and an 11-year-old, and I can tell you it has flown by. Certainly the first couple of years didn't fly, but now that I look back, I can't believe that the time has gone that fast. So enjoy the moment, be present, and don't worry about these things. If you found these videos helpful, you don't want to miss what we have for you in our other videos. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and click on that notification bell. Also, it really helps us spread our message when you share these videos. So please share it with your friends and family. We'll see you next week.